Welcome to a brand new type of video on my channel. In this episode we're going to be covering how to install shader mod and shader packs. Before we begin, I thought it'd be important to note that not all computers are made the same. Before you install shader packs, you want to make sure that you've got a pretty decent graphics card, at least one that's higher than say a GTX 600 or equivalent in AMD, and you probably want to have at least 2 gigs of RAM to spare. So if you're running 2 gigs of RAM, you're probably not going to have enough, but if you're running in the 4 to 8 range, you'd probably be okay. With that being said, let's take a look at some of the shaders. Now it's important to know too that all the shader packs that you see out there are a little bit different. They've all got a little something that makes them unique from some of the other ones. I know some of the ones off the top of my head are like Silders, and I like to use Sonic Ethers shader. Now this website right here, the shadersmod.net, is where I come to get most of my packs. There's the CUDA shaders, and inside of this website you can see too what it looks like with and without. It gives you kind of the idea. Now with Silders, it kind of gives it like almost like an orange hue to the sky. I'm not a big fan of it. I really like the look of Sonic Ethers. But before we get to these, the first step and what you're going to want to do is go to OptiFine.net, and here we're going to download OptiFine. Now you want to make sure that you're not getting this from some other website. Only get it from here, because 9 times out of 10 it's not legitimate on other websites. So what you want to do is you want to click on the download tab, and here you want to make sure that you're running the OptiFine for the version of Minecraft that you got up. And it's very important, the 1.12 will not work with 1.12.2. You have to have the last part correct, otherwise it's not going to work right. So once you figure out which one you have, you want to go with the top one at the top, which is the most recent version. You can see that this one here is actually pretty new. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to install the new version since I don't have it. So I'm going to click there and click this link to download it. And sometimes like this, your computer might see it as harmful, but as long as you're downloading it from this site, you should be just fine. Just go ahead and keep it and wait for it to download. And while you're waiting for that to download, it's a perfect time to make sure and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss any of my content. I usually do a good selection of gaming videos in Minecraft especially. So if you like that kind of stuff, make sure and hit the subscribe button. But alright, now that we've got this done, we can go ahead and run this file. This one we can run it from anywhere. You want to make sure that once this pops up, you hit the install button. Now if you get any kind of, well that's it, but if you get any kind of error and everything, you might have to update your Java. So best way to do that is to come up here and do a Google search for Java. And then you want to go to the java.com download, and then the free Java download. And then this will make sure that your Java is up to date and with the current version. And same thing, once it's done, you run it. Alright, now that you have downloaded and installed both OptiFine and Java updates if necessary, it's time to pick out what shader pack we're going to be running. Now I think since I have some of these, and the Continuum I believe has been discontinued, or at least the link here doesn't work, let's go ahead and we're going to install this Mr. Meep shaders. It says the goal of this pack is to create a happy and summer-like atmosphere. So you can see that looks kind of nice. Let's go ahead and jump to the link for that one. And then on some of these you can see a little bit of a preview. We're gonna go ahead and go to the download, and we'll go ahead and click here for the show spoiler, and you can see some of the pictures for it. We're gonna scroll back down here where we were before a minute ago, and make sure that your specs line up with what they have there. you pick the one that you want, basically, for if you think that your computer is right in line with that or maybe a little below. Make sure you go with the light or the medium. But if you're well above those specs, take the ultra. So we'll go ahead and click on that. And then it's going to bring you to one of these download screens, but you want to be extremely careful on these screens because a lot of times they'll have other download buttons like here and here, but they're not usually the one that you want. So you want to make sure and read the description before you hit download to make sure that this matches up with what you're trying to download, and then hit the download and it brings it down here. Now this is going to put this into your download folder by default. There's a couple ways of getting there, but the best way to do that is if you're running Google Chrome, and I think it's not that hard otherwise. You can go here and show in folder, and then you can see that we've got the Java that we just downloaded, OptiFine, and the shader pack. So then, now that we're to this point, see, here's one of the pop-ups. Make sure you don't click on these because a lot of times they have malware. Let's go ahead and close it. So now that we have this point, there's two ways to do it. We're gonna have to put this into our shader packs folder inside our .minecraft folder. Now there's one way where you can open up Minecraft, and the other way is to go down here and type %app data %, and then we're going to want to go to the .minecraft folder and the shader packs, and then in here is where we want to put a copy of this. Now I already put a copy there a second ago. My recording messed up, but we'll go ahead and put that down there. And now that we have that in there, we can go ahead and open our Minecraft. And then the launcher should come up, and you want to make sure that, again, that right here on the up arrow, and you're running the OptiFine, because you have to be running that OptiFine for the shaders to work. So then you just hit the play. Alright, now that we're in Minecraft, you want to go ahead and hit options, video settings, shaders, and then right there will be the shader pack that you need. Just click on it, and it might take a few minutes for it to load while it's switching everything over, but just be patient, sit back, and as soon as it moves down, you're ready. Just hit the done, load up a brand new world, and create a new world. We'll call this shader, and we'll just create it a blank world, and we'll take a look at it. And there you see we got, oh yeah, probably taking a second to load. And at this point, when you load up, if you're having any kind of frame rate issues or if it's lagging out really hard, you might want to go down a version, go to the light, or try and find a different one. But if it crashes completely and won't load, you can try and get a hold of the developer or put a comment in on the forum, and a lot of times they'll address the issue and let you know whether it might be a computer related problem or a pack problem. But I hope you guys enjoyed that little tutorial on how to install a shader pack. If you guys have any problems or questions or anything else that you'd like for me to address, make sure and leave a comment down below and I'll address them to the best of my ability. But until next time, guys, I'll catch you all later.